Hi, everyone, and welcome to, I know I say it's a special episode quite often, but this is a really, really special episode because we have some huge announcements that we're going to get to in a second. But first, just welcome Michelle and Alina.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
So most of you in the community here probably know both Michelle and Alina because you've both been guests several times. But so the big announcement, I'm going to say it right away, is that you're both joining the effort. Coach Michelle is joining the Sleep Coach School, and Coach Ali or Coach Alina is joining BedTyme, and I'm super excited about this.
Same here.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Yeah, I'm excited to get started.
That's going to be amazing. And actually, I want to start off this. So what we're going to do today is like just share a little bit of how this happened. You guys are going to share a little bit about your stories and how you ended up being coaches and joining the movement. But I want to start off by saying that I've been wanting this to happen for a long time, like getting some help and expanding the efforts, etc. But what really made me think that I think it's time to do this now is this. So neither of you were there actually, but it was a drop-in class in the school, right? And I was checking in as usual, like, how's everyone doing? And one of our students, she said, oh, I was hoping Ali would be here because I had a question for her. And I was like, well, sorry, but I'll do my best, But I mean, the funny thing with that to me was that I could tell that she wanted to ask someone who'd actually been there herself, somebody who's gone through the journey. And I think that there's so much power when someone has gone through the journey themselves and now has kind of the outside understanding, if you will, that comes from going through the sleep coach school, etc. So I want to start off there, and then from then go to Michelle. And why don't you share a little bit about your story? What led to you becoming a sleep coach and joining the school?
Sure. So I struggled immensely with insomnia for about 5 years. And it was a really, really difficult time for me. And just like so many other people who struggle with insomnia, I really tried everything. And I tried everything I possibly could to kind of solve this problem, not realizing that, of course, trying to solve the problem was part of the problem. And after so many years of struggle and nothing working and nothing helping, I kind of gave up. I just assumed, okay, this is it. This is life now. And around this time after I gave up, I stumbled on the Sleep Coach School's YouTube channel, and I wasn't even looking; it just kind of popped up, and I clicked on one of the videos, and the content like that you were putting out started to really resonate with me, and so I started to watch more and more of the videos, and then I bought Set It and Forget It pretty quickly, and it resonated so much, and it was so different from everything else out there, and even before I made any changes, even before my sleep changed, I just knew intuitively that I was going to be a normal sleeper again. And, um, you know, I started to make a lot of changes and change my mindset a lot and, started to see changes in my sleep. And so shortly after, I sent you an email, a thank you email, basically. And that was how we initially connected. And shortly after that, I signed on to the coaching certification through the school, and kind of the rest is history. Now here I am. So yeah, kind of wild. I would not have predicted any of this.
It's amazing. So glad you signed on, of course. And I would like you to tell the audience a little bit about, okay, what exactly are you going to be doing within the school?
Yeah, so I'm going to be co-running the group coaching program, the sleep immunity program that you have right now. So I'm going to be working with you and kind of co-coaching all the folks that are in the group coaching program. And I'm also going to be spearheading the one-on-one coaching offering through the Sleep Coach School. So now you can sign up and get one-on-one coaching with me. And so I'm excited to get started on both of those fronts.
So am I. And speaking of the one-on-one coaching, like in what format is that going to be?
It's going to be all online. So we're going to, all Zoom kind of coaching calls. So it's going to be really accessible. So no matter where you are in the world, you can access one-on-one coaching. So it's going to be really accessible.
It's going to be amazing. And I just spending 1 second more on that, it's going to be like, for now we set it up so that you can get 3 45-minute sessions on Zoom that you schedule, and also, and I think this is important, like you also get access to the immunity program or the group coaching program, so you have a curriculum and like ongoing support. So I think it's going to be super, super helpful, and we're super glad about this. So that said, Coach Alina, why don't you share a little bit about your story?
Yeah, sure. Actually, the story of insomnia is not actually unique from person to person that much, because it's, it starts the same, according to the same scenario, and then it develops this more or less in the same way. And basically my story began with me. I was taking some
Okay, it's a little lag here. We'll see. It usually sorts itself out.
Oh.
And yeah, did you hear me, guys?
Sorry, you were off for like I don't know, maybe 20 seconds or something like that. But
okay,
it started with me taking this medication.
Yes, I started taking the antibiotics, and that had the side effect of like sleep disruption. And I started I was scared about this kind of like event, and I started digging into the situation, what could be the problem there. I tried a lot of things, first starting with canceling the the antibiotics course, and then trying this and that, all sorts of like teas and all, like basically a lot of remedies, which obviously led me to to the rabbit hole where I ended up like having really several nights in a row when I could say that I didn't sleep at all. That was like really frustrating. I thought my life is over, and like all my old life, I cannot take it back, and I wanted to take it back so much, to just forget about the whole thing. And I started getting kind of like the clues that the more this understanding of the more I try, the less I get this the desired result. Already happened on some intuitional level, but I didn't know how it works. So I was really missing that education. And my journey started with me researching about how brain works, how anxiety works, and then slowly I could find a lot of similarities between insomnia and other cases when people have this fear of something, and then this fear causes them more of that happening. For example, panic attacks or something like this. Because like, for example, with panic disorder, the more you try to avoid panic attacks, the more you're scared of them, the more likely you have that. And then I started being like, I started wondering like, if there is a effective way how to stop this type of problems, like for example, panic disorder or any phobias, then why it's not possible to do the same with sleep? Because it's, it basically works on the same approach. And then I started reading a lot about this fear, exposure therapy, and a lot of things. So then I started having this applying something from that, and it started having an effect. And this is when I met Daniel's channel, and I could, the information that you were talking about there was like 100% with what I was going through. So I was just like, I stayed with your channel. We were writing for some time, and the more I saw like the new episodes that you had, they had so many more insights that I learned along the way. So yeah, basically the whole journey was around, I would say, like almost a year or something like this, like for sure, like 8 months. And during this time, I had moments when I was, after sleeping really well, I again went back to sleeping like almost at all. And then I was again like was again frustrated. So yeah, and then I like slowly I started like applying the NATO approach, basically, trying like stopping any efforts and being okay with any outcome. And this something that led me to the path when when I don't struggle anymore, I consider that I already quit the whole insomnia story, that it's just like, insomnia is nothing in reality. It's not a physical, tangible thing. It is more about like our patterns. And yeah, so and now having gone through this path, that I can easily go back to that, to the same topic, and without it affecting me in any way. So yeah, that was a long journey.
Absolutely. No, thanks for sharing. And when it comes to Michelle, I know Coach Michelle. She is a yoga instructor and does nutritional teaching as well. So I think the step for Michelle to be like, maybe I should become a sleep coach was maybe not too big of a step. In your case, like, when did that idea come to you, Ali?
Yeah, I started like even more months before I decided. I started writing like a blog, on Instagram, and I was sharing kind of like my learnings, and I started getting some questions from time to time, and I started like answering to them, and a lot of things that people were asking me, I could already know like what kind of stage they're going through, and I could, there was nothing that I was like, surprised about their questions, so I could easily like provide them this insight, because I exactly remembered how I felt in their situation. So, and I started writing more, communicating with those people, and then basically when I wrote to you about this, that how the whole like struggle ended, and then we had this kind of call where you had this success story episode. And since then, like, yeah, you also like mentioned that you also have this coach program, and and then I started like thinking that this could be a sign that I really like helping people, and I see like value in this, that I have that in like those insights which I lived through by myself, and that I can pass it on further and teach people something that they still struggle with. And yeah, this kind of like my motivation and your the opportunity that you provide, this is something that and ended up with me being here.
Amazing. So happy that happened. And I want to share one thing on my end then, which is that a little announcement on mine too, which is that for the last, I would say like the last 2 years or something like that, I've been working, within my app BedTyme mainly, as like the only coach, and it's been super rewarding and super fun. But I think like big picture for myself, I think sort of the next step for me is I think I'm going to focus even more on the like coaching coaches. I think that is so amazing, because you see how, and by the way, as like most people who joined as to become coaches have themselves gone through the journey. So like taking that foundation of insight and adding kind of an opportunity to coach within the program and teaching from the out, like in a structured way, and knowing how these people are going to go out in the world and help the world, that's so meaningful and helpful. So that's a little bit of an announcement from mine. That's kind of the direction I'm going towards. And so I think before we conclude here, it would be fun to just go, this just came to me as you were speaking, Ali, like we could do just a roundtable on, okay, as we're all in one way or another, like I'm kind of continuing my journey as a sleep coach, you're kind of joining, the world of being sleep coaches. Now, what are you most excited about? And is there anything you're a bit scared about? So let's go over that one just for fun. How about you, Michelle?
Sure. Oh gosh, what am I most? I'm just really excited to start working with people and seeing them have a lot of the same kind of realizations and moments that I had during my insomnia journey, right? Helping somebody kind of go through that period where they don't necessarily think they'll ever get out of it, and kind of helping guide them, and being in a place where you're kind of watching them having realizations and having that information sink in, and seeing them have moments where they start to believe it's possible that they can kind of move out of this insomnia and really get their lives back. Like, I think it's really powerful. I've already witnessed it multiple times through working with the sleep coach school, or being part of this already, even as a coaching, like a student training to be a coach. So I just think it's really powerful to see those moments, and and to be part of those moments. And I know, because I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like, and I know how I just, yeah, like how much hope it can bring. So I'm just really looking forward to all of that. And on a larger scale, I'm looking forward to being part of sleep coaching as a whole, because I think it's going to continue to grow. And I feel like we're coming in at this almost like a baseline time, and we're going to be part of that, almost like this part of this revolution of coaching that we get to be coming in and help shape that. So that is also really exciting. And what I'm afraid of the most or nervous about, yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't thought about that too much, which is maybe a really good sign. But I think there'll just be some nerves in general getting started with the one-on-one coaching, just because it will be new. And I think with anything new, you have a little bit of nerves to work through. But I'm more excited than nervous for sure. I'm looking forward to it.
Love hearing this. And before we go to Coach Ellie here, I just want to quickly jump in and say, like, most of my coaching had been like text-based within BedTyme, which was itself like you see magic happening there. But it's something special with what we've seen in the sleep coach school, when it's like these drop-in classes and people share their stories, and you can hear them say these words that you just realize, wow, this person is like, they see so clearly, they're past it, they're getting past it. It's really powerful. Really powerful. So yeah, just wanted to, I don't know, just share that one really quickly. So with that said, Ali, what are your thoughts on this?
I absolutely agree with Michelle, and yeah, for me again, also seeing how this from like how people go through from a place where they are like so scared for their life to the place where they are not having struggles at all, and then I can see the path how they can take those learnings and basically apply it on other areas of life. This is, for me personally, this the whole sleep trouble thing was so like mind shifting, or I don't know how to say it, like that. It was really something that taught me about life in general. And I think this is a good, like, okay, together with the struggles, with all this kind of like unpleasantness of having experiencing insomnia, there is opening a huge window for improvement in other areas as well. Because once you kind of like crack the code or whatever, like you start seeing like insomnia for what it really is basically like an illusion of control that you have. Then you start seeing other, like illusions like all around you, and then you start approaching like the same way how you approached insomnia. And this could be so, freeing and really liberating moment. And this is what I really think, that once people happen to have this situation like in their life, then how to transform it from struggle to something like to take advantage of it. That's because this is how like now I feel like much stronger than I was before insomnia. So I am kind of like even thankful for that. So yes, and yeah, that. And on a bigger scale, there's so much like misinformation regarding sleep. A lot of like I recently called it like sleep propaganda. 8 hours of sleep, idea that there is perfect sleep or anything that is there. I just want to like if there is a possibility that you can actually communicate the full picture, the big picture of the situation. Because since like propaganda is something that is just like one side of the story, but what the underneath it, there is like you cannot really like you cannot really control sleep. And but this kind of like thinking, like everyone how thinks about sleep and so on, kind of makes you believe even more that you can control sleep. And this is like the source of a lot of struggles. And I just want to kind of maybe approach this, like just to challenge this kind of like thinking, at least in people like with whom I'm communicating. And I think this is where I see one of the like things that a little bit like scary for me, because like there has been like a lot of kind of like school of thoughts regarding like when you like sleep improvement or like supplements and stuff like that. So this is like any like sort of like apps for improvement of your sleep or like tracking devices, anything, then I'm kind of like there will be a lot of resistance from certain groups. I can feel that, because this is something that you're communicating that for good sleep, you don't really need supplements. You don't need anything to sleep well, right? It is all like ability to sleep is built inside of you, and this is something no one can take you, and no one can improve it in a way that have direct cause or like direct effect. So yeah, that's one of the challenges that I see here. So
you can hear same thing. You're excited about sharing true information, dispelling a lot of myths and things like that. Anything you're nervous about or worried about?
Yeah, I mean, basically, yeah, this kind of like having like how to, when you're coming on to bigger kind of like audience with this kind of idea, which sounds first controversial. Yeah, I'm worried that I mean, this is like, you cannot do anything with it because anyway, there will be some sort of like other opinions and so on. It's just something that, yeah, like you should kind of like embrace, I guess.
Yes. No, I completely understand. Absolutely. And by the way, I think things are so early that we haven't really seen any resistance. And I think when we see that, that means we're really making a difference, but we're probably before that stage yet. And yeah, I'll just say on my end that one thing that I'm really excited about is being able to have a vacation, having a real vacation. That's going to be amazing at some point in the future. But on a more kind of like bigger picture level, yeah, like you both alluded to, especially you, Michelle, like this is I feel the same way. This is like the beginning of something. Like sleep coaching is like, so new that, and we're kind of a part of something that I believe is going to be really big one day. And it kind of goes even beyond sleep coaching. It's like coaching in general, or this concept that we humans can just help each other. It's kind of like peer-to-peer support. Like I've gone through this thing and I've understood it, and now I want to help you. I think is going to transform, like, change how we view like mental health and healthcare, and all kinds of things are going to be changed by this like peer-to-peer type of support networks, or whatever you want to call them. So super excited about that. And I will say here that I'm a little nervous because I've never ever started a company or like had somebody that I somehow feel responsible for in a way. So, and I'm going to make a lot of mistakes. So you guys, please tell me when I do. And, but I'm a little nervous about that, but I'm sure it's going to be like we always say, when you're a little bit nervous or scared about something, that's the way you should go. Right.
Yeah. It just means that it's important.
100%.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll just say, thanks so much for joining today, and so excited about this next chapter, and we will go from there. And I know you both will be guests soon, so the community will have many, many more chances to learn from you, whether they join the program or just tune into the channel here. So yeah, thanks so much for today, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Thanks, Daniel.
Bye.
Bye.